Knowledge of harmonization and enlightenment of your personality, Part 8. Good morning, dear reader. The word dependency is frequently used to express displeasure and unhappiness. One says, I'm dependent, and starts to experience inner tension and desire to get rid of this dependency. But if you think about it, the notion of dependency can be applied to everything that exists in this world. You can declare yourself to be dependent practically on everything under the sun, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So, how do we develop dependencies and what do they point to? A dependency appears when one part of our personality starts to desire something. One of our parts develops a certain desire and it wants to realize it. However, the opposite part of our personality wants something totally different. It doesn't want its counterpart to realize its desire. These desires of two opposite parts of our personality appear to us to be self-excluding, and the situation turns into a vicious fight. The fight for independence.
As soon as I get into a relationship, I become dependent on a man financially. At the same time, I create an emotional dependence on him. But it doesn't stop there. Very soon, I start to experience a strong desire to be independent and start to search for a way out of that relationship.
Become dependent on a man financially. Later, this dependency starts to irritate you. You were looking for a man to be provided by him financially. You found such a man. Later, you start to feel that what you have searched for turns into a dependency. If he were to come to you on a Friday night, leave some money on a table, smile, and leave, you would not call it a dependency. But he demands something from you for the money he gives you. You must give him something in return. Am I right?
Yes, I feel I am being controlled. I get irritated.
Let's figure out what he wants for his money. What irritates you?
The emotional investment he expects from me is more than I can provide. I must provide him with constant attention. I must be next to him at all time. Oh my God, this is so irritating.
You feel that this is a dependency. Based on what do you feel that this relationship has turned into a dependency?
I feel obligated to be with him for the rest of my life. I feel obligated to do everything he wants. I feel I must behave the way he wants me to behave.
So he buys you, right? And as the old maxim goes, the one who pays orders the song. He will order the song and you will have to sing what he wants you to sing. And if you don't sing the song he likes, he will say, what is this? I have paid you. What kind of a song do you sing?
I experience strong aggression toward him. I must suppress it, not to compromise our relationship.
Suppress your aggression to preserve this relationship. But let me ask you a question. You have two parts in you. One part wants to have this relationship. Another part doesn't want to have this relationship. Let's talk about the part that wants to preserve this relationship. Why does it want to do that? It wants to preserve this relationship because he provides for you financially. You can say, I'm tired of your demands. Enough is enough. But another part of you says, what are you doing, idiot? How can you say that now? Where are you going to get the money to pay rent?
This is crazy. The funny thing is, I can support myself financially, but there is part in me, the second part you have alluded to, that is very strong. This part has its own opinion, and it doesn't want to do that. It doesn't want me to work.
Okay, let's look at your program and what has been inculcated into it. Perhaps it's written there that a woman must be with a man, and that a man she is with must provide for her. Is there such a subprogram in your program?
Yes, I have investigated my program. That's exactly how my parents lived.
Everything that happens to you is written in your personal program. The personal program has been inculcated into your personality by your parents, by your father and mother. You and any other human being that moves toward wholeness must become totally aware of this program. The dilemma we're exploring now is just a consequence. It is a result of what was written in your personal program. Your program consists of two opposite sides, or two opposite halves, or two opposite modes of survival. One side, or mode of survival, says you have to find a man who will provide for you. You must hold on to him and prevent him from leaving. The second side, which advocates the masculine mode of survival, says you can earn the money yourself. Now, which of those sides are you conscious of? When you earn the money and act out of the masculine mode of survival, you do not need a man in your life. You don't need him at all. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. I've been there too.
That's what happens to every self-made woman. This is a common theme nowadays. A woman starts to make money, and a few months later, she doesn't need a man in her life. But this happens to go against the other side of the program of survival. The side that says, I have to survive by using a man. However, getting fed up and understanding every dependency, pain and suffering that comes with it, you say, what do I need those men for? I can survive on my own. And here we see a dilemma. You have two options. You can be with a man and experience what you experience now. He will provide you with the money you need, but he will also ask a lot from you. It will start to irritate you. You can move to another side and say, I'm tired of it. If you gave birth to a child, you can even say, all those men are not up to par. I know now that I'm not going to find a good man here. I'm going to make a real man out of my boy. And then, not even aware of it, you put your own child into the position of dependency and make your only man out of him. Currently, you happen to operate out of the feminine mode of survival. Each mode of survival has its positive and negative sides. The negative side of the feminine mode of survival is determined by the things your man requires you to do for the money he provides you with. The masculine mode of survival is accompanied by its own advantages and disadvantages. One of the main disadvantages of the masculine mode of survival is loneliness.
I can't live like this anymore. I can't run between these two poles anymore. This fight is driving me crazy. I must exit this duality.
I ask you to be more specific here. Which duality are you referring to?
I am referring to the duality we just reviewed. Financial dependency, financial independency from a man.
Look, first we need to determine which duality we're dealing with and to see that it's not in balance. In your case, one side of you wants to receive the money, a certain material, physical aspect. Another side of you is uncomfortable because it is being oppressed emotionally. In essence, we see the war that goes on between your centers. This is something all of you must understand. A human being has three centers: mental or intellectual, emotional, and physical. The war between your emotional and physical centers manifests itself in the fact that your physical center needs the money, while the emotional center must pay the bills that the physical center accrues. One center creates the expenses, another reimburses them. What I discuss happens inside of you.
I can't understand this fully. I'm having a difficult time following you, but I feel I agree with what you say.
The work we do here is not simple. I see what I see because I had to go through everything you're going through myself. I don't discuss anything that I have not experienced myself. It's not easy for you to absorb all of this now, as I deliver it to you in a very concentrated form. Let's stop for now. You need to absorb what I've said. Try to comprehend what we have discussed. Assignment. I offer you to investigate your dependency. What do you consider to be your dependency? Which part of your personality has created what is considered to be a dependency by your opposite part? Which specific desires does this so-called dependency satisfy? And which desires does this dependency prevent you from satisfying? Describe how both sides of your personality fight to achieve their own opposite desires. Try to see these opposite desires as your own desires. Observe whether your relationship to both of these sides starts to change.